What's going on, you little rascals? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Bitcoin today. It is the 24th day of May, and here we are sitting at about $77,000 with roughly 11 hours left in the day. Hit that like button, subscribe. Thank you all. Let's get into it. First and foremost, yes, we did pump. We did see a little bit of recovery over the last 24 hours. If we're looking at the Bitcoin CME futures, Friday did close here at 75.7K. Today is Sunday, the end of the week, so if we close here, there likely will be a gap all the way up to this 77K area. There will be a gap between this low and where we open for tomorrow. There's still a gap here at the 79K area. It would take us about 79.3, 79.4 thousand dollars in price on the CME futures to fill that gap. And it is completely possible that Bitcoin does recover to that zone and then finds resistance and comes back down. If we go up to that zone there, we will find resistance at prior support and prior resistance and then come back down. And really, I mean, this head and shoulders pattern could be playing out. I mean, it might be a little bit more perfect, less slanted than we originally were expecting, but hey, that's fine. If that happens, we don't have to go to 79K. Just because there's a gap there doesn't mean we have to fill it. We didn't fill this gap. We partially filled it, but we didn't fill that gap. There's still a gap up here. There's probably other gaps too. Let's just see. I mean, there's a little tiny gap right there that didn't get filled. I think there's even a little gap there at the all-time high. Yeah, I don't know if that's a gap yet. Still, something to think about. We definitely could see a little bit more recovery. My thoughts are, however, no matter what we do here, it's going to be a lower high relative to this overall, and we will continue to break our way down to this lower end of this range. Now, some people seem to be confused, so I want to shed a light on this. I don't know. I'm not really convinced one way or another if from here we're going down below here in one fell swoop. I don't personally believe that, right? Like from here, from a low to a high, we went up here in one fell swoop. You wouldn't say that from this low to this high that we went that it was one fell swoop. No, there's a little bit of volatility all throughout, and then from here to there it was one fell swoop. All I'm trying to say is I don't know if we go from here to there. I don't think that's what's going to happen. It could happen, but that's not what I'm calling for. What I'm kind of more expecting, and still I don't know if this is what's going to happen, it's just what I'm expecting to happen, is that we will be methodical. We will have ups and downs and all arounds. We will probably find support somewhere between 70K and 65K, maybe a little bit lower, but I think we will find support above this low. We'll probably form some kind of downward sloping channel and break out of that channel and then find resistance at other points of resistance, right? Find resistance here, or maybe at prior points of support, or somewhere within this channel, find resistance there, and then continue to work our way down. We might slowly whittle our way down to where we get to a lower low here. The way that I have it drawn, this would bring us below these lows in October. And that could happen based on the 4-year cycle. That'd be right on par with the timing of everything. It could happen. I wouldn't be surprised if it was as early as August or maybe later than there. Okay, could be as early as July, but that would probably that would rely more on this immediate drop down. I don't know how long we're going to meander. I don't know how long we're going to form this path and screw with things before we actually break down. I just don't believe that we're going to go down in one fell swoop. I believe it's possible. I accept it as a possibility. I'm not saying it can't happen. And I'm not saying that the methodical approach is the only way that has to happen either. Like it's very unknown right now. So at the moment, I do believe we're going lower. At the moment, both paths, what they both express, what the common statement there is that this is the high of this overall range and that we will not get above it before going below this low. Now that we have that common understanding, hopefully, let's look at the short-term stuff and then we'll zoom back out, okay? 1 hour time frame here, looking at this, 77.1K right now. 9 minutes left in this hour. Yeah, you moved up with some decent volume. You're trying to move up now, not as much volume. In fact, that was a big wick. You probably moved down. We have 11 hours left in the day. Let's see how high we close, because the closer we get to this 75.7K area by the end of the day, it's really it's not going to leave us with much of a gap, and that might be preferred, because leaving a gap to the downside, it's kind of daunting. Even though we're expecting it to go down, nonetheless, it hurts the momentum typically. 1 hour RSI, it's like you want to get overbought, but you're just not doing it, man. 8 minutes left, anything can happen. You're only down $220. You can definitely come up in that next 8 minutes, but I'm not holding my breath over that. Rejecting the overbought zone here. Bearish divergence on the MACD. Yeah. Come down. Come down. I mean, you've been very volatile. We've seen this kind of stuff before, right? That's my cat. Hi, Mufasa. Hi, buddy. We saw it here. It's the exact same behavior, and then what did that bring us? Death and destruction. We saw it right there, boom, and then same thing, working our way down. We're seeing it now. It's not all quite the same, but I wouldn't be surprised if we came back down. Maybe in a dramatic fashion, maybe in a slow fashion. But the 1 hour time frame here does look bearish. 4 hour time frame, it's kind of interesting. Because you have this lower low dynamic, lower high dynamic, and you have broken out of that. You got oversold, you've broken out of that. You're right at the 60, finding resistance where you found resistance the last 1, 2, 3, 4 times now. You found resistance here. Getting oversold, even if you're breaking out of this downward sloping trend, getting oversold and not getting overbought is not a good thing. That's bad. Think of it like a scoreboard, right? You're in a game. You're playing a game here, and every time that you get oversold, it's a point in the bear's favor. And now it's the Bulls' chance to answer, and they have a chance to shoot to score, and the ball gets stolen from them, and then boom, then the Bears are scoring again. It kills the momentum, and it builds the momentum on the team of the Bears rather than the team of the Bulls. Here the Bulls are winning the game. Here the Bears are winning the game. I don't know what game it would be, but think of it like basketball maybe. Opposite ends of the court, and then getting into the oversold zone is equivalent to the basket. Overbought zone is equivalent to the basket there on the other side. Stochastics are overbought. I'm normally better at analogies. It wasn't my best analogy, but it makes sense. It wasn't a bad one. Anyways, oversold, reset. You look at the price, it seems as if we are in this downtrend here, right? Lower lows, lower highs. It's not pretty. I'm not trying to draw it picture perfect. Maybe there's some people who have, but you could see what it's looking like more or less. You didn't get a lot of volume on this pump up. You didn't really get a lot of volume on the pump down either, so that might explain why we saw this little bit of volatility over the weekend. And again, your RSI, your stochastics are reset. They're ready to drop if they want to. You can go up a little bit higher, maybe. That'll still leave a gap on the CME futures and give us more reason to drop down going into next week. The MACD, as long as we don't see a drop that's like immediate like this, it could be, we pause here for a second and then drop down. The MACD will slowly climb to the zero and also be reset to drop lower. That doesn't need to happen, but here at the zero, we dropped, we rejected, we went lower. Here at the zero, we dropped, we rejected, we went lower, right? Here at the zero, which we're not quite there yet, but we're pretty damn close. Makes sense to me, man. Daily time frame, it really does look like a head and shoulders pattern. It's pretty perfect. It's pretty perfect, except for this little deviation there. In which case, maybe we don't go to 79K. Maybe we go to 78.8K, whatever. Instead of finding resistance at the wicks, we find resistance at the closing body. Something like that can happen. We could go up to prices below 79K, and this gap at 79K could, where is it? Sorry, this gap here at 79K could still fill. The CME futures can be above the spot price on Binance here. It just depends on the momentum. Anyways, things do look bearish overall. Stochastics are bearish. The MACD, you got a little bit of bullish divergence. That might be where this move came from, but that doesn't mean that you have to go up from here. You are at a point to balance. It'd be interesting to see what happens next. I mean, if you can hold support here, that'd be great. But if we start to get this orange line below the zero, if bearish momentum, these dark red parts of the histogram, if they start to build, then that would typically mean that we are going to go lower, that we're going to drop through the floor. I mean, let's run with this idea that it's a head and shoulders pattern. If it is, You know, we spent like a week in this area. We've only found our low over the last day. We've probably been here. We've been here for almost a week. We just don't have the high yet. It could be. It could be that we finish out May still in this area, and then you know, as we like had kind of had that same amount of time here, and then in the beginning of June, that's whenever we drop through. But the point being, we will drop through from a low to a high. 382, 236 resistance. I mean, this is such a classic setup. It wouldn't surprise me if we just went right down here. Typically, throwing out the idea of the head and shoulders pattern, if we throw that idea out, okay. Typically, just looking at this for what it is on the fibs. Oops, I didn't realize that I was off. Okay. If you go to the 382, typically you wick below it and you close above it, which is exactly what we did. And then you go to the 236 to find resistance, and then you go down to your golden ratio. If we were to draw this, I mean, that looks like a slanted head and shoulders pattern to me, guys. And that'd be at 78.2K. And perhaps everybody would be expecting that we fill this gap, just as a lot of people were convinced, myself included, that we were so close to filling this gap that we likely pushed to 84K. It might just wave that carrot right in front of your face and then take it right out from underneath your feet. I don't know. 71.3K to $70,000. That is a very obvious target area at this point in time. Maybe we move up another $1,000 or so over this week, but if not next week, then the following week we should be seeing this overall range here breaking down. And let's just pretend that it is a head and shoulders pattern. Again, let's do this one more time. Let's see. From a low to a high, we take that, we put it at the wherever the breakout point would be. I'm being a little generous. That would even take us below 70K, which again we're expecting, you know, or accepting of. This is the very obvious target area. That doesn't mean that you can't go lower. We really could go down to 68.3 to 66.8K. And if we look at this through that fib perspective again, taking the low here to the high here, you went down to your 786 and found support. Taking the high here to the low here, you went up to your 786, 886 area and found resistance. Taking the low here to the high here, you did find support right at your golden ratio zone. Okay, there you go. Low there to high there, you found support right at your 786. High here to low here, you went through to your extensions, okay? But you did initially find resistance at your 786, came down, and then you pumped back up. Showing respect at that 786, 886 level consistently. If we, from a low to a high here, were to go down, sure, we could find support at the golden ratio, maybe for a time, but going down to this area, it wouldn't be anything out of the ordinary for what we've done throughout this whole range. I got nothing else to say. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and if you did, hit the like button. Please subscribe. Thank you all. I'll see you on the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.